How the data will be classified based on qualitative and quantitative. So economics deals with scarcity and its implication with the production, distribution and consumption of goods and services. In economics, we'll be dealing with three terminologies. One is consumption, one is production and distribution. Without the statistics, no business can run its business successfully. Hello everybody, I'm your Divya ma'am, lecturing with Vidhyaashram Pre-University College, Mysuru, the Temple of Excellence. Today, I welcome you all to the session 1 on Introduction to Statistics. Let's move further. The topic for today's discussions: introduction, need for economics, economic activity, consumption, production, distribution, statistics in economics, phases of statistics, uses of statistics and conclusion. So this unit is very important for you all, my dear students. So in this chapter, you will be able to understand what is economics is all about, what is statistics is all about, how statistics is useful in economics. You will be able to understand the terminologies of consumption, production and distribution. Moving forward, introduction or need for economics. So before that, let us understand what is the meaning of economics. Human wants are unlimited. Suppose you want a bike to go for a school or to go for a college. Again, after getting bike, you will be asking for a car. After getting a car, you will be asking for the dresses. You will be asking for more and more things. But the income for your parents is limited. So they'll choose an alternative and then get one for you people. The same thing applies in economics as well. Human wants are unlimited, but the resources are limited. So without compromising for the future generation, it is the responsibility of the economist, it is the responsibility of our citizen to use the resources in an optimum way so that we are providing something for the next future generation to take up the decisions regarding consumption, production and distribution. We need to study economics. So economics deals with scarcity and its implication with the production, distribution and consumption of goods and services. It is study of common man in life. Alfred Marshall, the father of modern economics, called economics as a study of a common man in life. So we will be studying about human beings, their consumption pattern, their production pattern and the distribution pattern. So economics is all about economic activity so that it satisfies the needs and wants of the consumer. So economics is study of common man in life. So in this you will be understanding who are buyer, who are seller and who are producers and what is the activities of day-to-day life. So day-to-day life, consumption goes, the production happens and at the same time distribution happens. So this is an activity of a daily life. So people produce, after producing it will be consumed by the customer. After consuming it, that will be distributed in the form of salaries, wages, the income what you give for consumption, the income for buying such products in the market. So that will in return will reach you as a labor cost. In return it will be reached you as a wages, salary. That is called as distribution. So economics is nothing but it deals with the scarcity and its implication in the production, consumption and the distribution of goods and services. My dear students, this economics that is put for you in the first PUC, it's very easy and interesting. So in this chapter, we are learning only the introduction part of economics. Moving forward, Let us understand what is an economic activity. An economic activity simply means that it gives we people give input. So that input will lead to manufacturing of goods and services, and later that will be the finished goods, and that is the consumption what you get from the finished goods. So whatever the consumption that you get, so for certain product you buy from the market, so what is the income that you are paying, and that income deals with monetary value. So it is a economic activity, is a process, it is a system where it deals with a monetary value, because whatever so is produced and the product is in the market, so to buy that product what you need monetary value. So certain monetary value you give it and you buy that product, and you buy the product or the goods or services, and then you consume that, and after consumption you will again produce it. After producing, again you have to distribute that income in the form of wages, salary, interest to the society. So the entire system is called as an economic activity. So whatever the system they follow, and that system is called as economic activity. So economic activity deals with what? Deals with production, consumption, distribution of goods and services that will be purchased through monetary value, and it becomes what? Buying and selling of goods and services. That is why it is called as business. So in this business what we have to do, whatever income that you people have paid for availing those goods and services, that income will be utilized for what? It will be utilized for the providing salary, providing wages, providing interest. In return it will add on to the national income. So that is why economics is called as an economic activity which deals with monetary value. Moving forward, we have the terminology called consumption. So in economics we'll be dealing with three terminologies. One is consumption, one is production, and distribution. So let us understand what is consumption is all about. Consumption simply means it is nothing but the consuming of goods and services, or utilizing the resources for the household purposes. For example, you buy food for your house, you buy clothes for your friends, you buy house for living purposes. So what are all these? All these are called as consumption. Consumption is nothing but the study of how the utilization of resources will be done for the consuming of goods and services for the household purposes. So you consume the goods and the consumption will happen. So the entire pattern of consumption is called as what? The study of consumption. So you consume the product because we'll be having more number of alternatives in the market. So what kind of product we have to purchase? What is the income that we are spending? And how the prices for each of the products is determined. So you will be understanding the consumption pattern. So the entire study of this is called as consumption. So consumption simply means it is the study of use of goods and services for household purposes. Moving forward, we have production. The word itself says production. Produce means what? Input, process into various stages, then it becomes output, and that output is called as finished goods that will be used for the consumption purposes. So what we'll do, the raw materials will be given to them. After raw materials, it will be processed under several stages. Work in progress will happen. After that, it will reach to the final stage, that is the output. After that output, it will be in the form of finished goods, and that finished goods will be consumed by the human beings. It will be consumed by us. So that entire process is called as production. So in this we will be deciding, the economist will be deciding whether what kind of production strategies to be used, whether we have to use labor intensive technology to produce the goods, or whether we have to use capital intensive technology to produce the goods. From raw materials to finished goods, it has to be decided. decided. So the entire study of production till the output and till the finished goods, that decision we study, and that is called as what? Production. Moving forward, we have distribution. So as I have told you initially, we produce things. The manufacturer will produce the goods and services that will be consumed based on the income. They buy certain things from the market. So through prices, through income, they provide money and they avail those goods and services, and that goods and services they consume. After consumption, we have to distribute it. How the distribution process will happen? Whatever money you have given, that money will be utilized for the distribution purposes of salary, for paying wages, for paying interest, and that acts as what? National income or total income. It is called as gross domestic product. What does this GDP stands for? GDP stands for gross domestic product. It is nothing but the sum total of income that is being produced in a particular year from the goods and services. So that is GDP. So whatever the consumption has happened, whatever the production has happened, from the income what they are getting, that has to be distributed. So that distribution process is called as what? The study of that is called as what? The distribution. Distribution simply means whatever income you have gained while producing or consuming purposes, the total of it has to be distributed to the society in return in the form of wages, salary, interest, etc. Moving forward, we have again the need of data. Why statistics is there in economics? So statistics, the word has been derived from the Latin word which means status. Earlier in the military purposes, in order to gain the information regarding the population, regarding the soldiers, the statistics was used for producing, for consuming the food. For other purposes, they need a numerical value. Numerical facts were important. So that becomes the evolution of statistics. So they started counting the numbers. So from there, again, the evolution of statistics have been there. Today, statistics have become the lifeblood of every business. So without the numerical fact, without the statistics, no business can run its business successfully. So in this economics, why do you need statistics? What is the need of statistics? Because we need data to produce, to consume, to know the consumption pattern, to know the income level of people, to know what is the distribution pattern. For that purposes, we need numerical value, numerical facts, and that numerical facts we get through statistics. Statistics simply means what? It is nothing but analyzing, collecting the data, organizing the data, presenting the data, and interpreting the results by using various statistical tools and technique, which is very helpful for decision making. So to take up the better decision, for a better forecast, for the better utilization of resources, the main objective of, to fulfill the main objective of economics, we need statistics. The one is need for data, analysis of data, and input for the policies. Whatever the policies, the economic policies that is coming up, we can see many of the government policies that has been coming up. To look after those economic policies, to bring in that implication, we need what? We need statistics. So statistics is very important, my dear students. Moving forward, we have phases of statistics. In the previous slide, we have discussed what is statistics is all about, what is the history of statistics, why statistics is essential in economics. Now we'll be discussing about phases of statistics. Phases of statistics means stages of statistics. So when you get the numerical value, it will be in the raw fact, raw information. The information will not be processed or purified. It has to be processed into several stages to get the meaningful inferences, meaningful information from those data. So we have phases of statistics. So in this phases of statistics, whatever the data we have got, as I have told you, data will be in the raw fact, raw information, and those information has to be bifurcated or classified based on the attributes, based on time, based on the characteristics, based on several attributes, characteristics, number. We have to classify those data, and that is called as phases of statistics. So the data, how you will avail? Through various sources. One is primary sources, the other is the secondary sources. The data which is collected for the first time by meeting the person, you get the information, that is called as primary sources of data. The secondary sources of data, already been collected data, and you will utilize those data for the purpose of study, that is called as secondary data. So moving forward in the next chapter, we will be discussing in depth regarding the collection of data. Now we have, as I have told you, data has to be classified. So how the data will be classified? Based on qualitative and quantitative. So what is this qualitative? The word itself says qualitative means characteristics. When the data is classified based on the characteristics such as height, weight, age, religion. So all these are what? Characteristics, the attributes. Okay. So when you do based on the attributes, the classification is called as what? Qualitative classification. And we have quantitative classification where only deals with numbers. When you are classifying the age, when you are classifying the years, when it deals with only numerical values, the numbers, then it becomes what? Quantitative classification. And after the organization of data, as I have told you, we have to classify the raw information, raw data, then it has to be further processed, further comprehended. How we have to do it? Based on what? Based on the presentation of data. So once the data is collected, it has to be organized in a systematic manner, organized in an orderly manner. Then we have to present it in a very comprehensive way, very attractive way, in a table form, in a pictorial representation. When we do this, it will be very helpful for the statisticians, businessmen, and the government to take up the decisions regarding the information, because it will be in a very meaningful form, and it will be in a simple way to take up the better decisions, because people doesn't have time to look after things. So they want things in a single value. So whatever the data is there, numerical fact that we get in a large quantity, that will be with the help of statistical tools and technique, that will be put in a single value, and that value will be utilized for the further decision making. So the entire thing we will study in a chapter wise. So that is your phases of statistics. Moving forward, we have uses of statistics. So I've been telling in all the slides what are the uses of statistics, because statistics nowadays have become the lifeblood of every business. Without the facts, without the numerical values, no business can run successfully, because stats is very, very important subject. It helps in present economic data, whatever the data you have got. For example, you have got the years, number of production, and the number of sales of a car. So what is this data? It's an economic data which explains the consumption pattern of a car. What is the sales of a car for a particular year? So when that is bifurcated or classified based on the numbers, numerical facts, then it will be very much helpful for the presentation purpose. So it presents the economic data more meaningfully and in a very impact way. And the next is compression of data. As I have told you, when we collect the data, it will be in the raw form, it will be in the mass quantity, and that quantity has to be put in one value, and that one value will be studied as an average. So that based on that average, the government, the business people, and the users of economics will take up the decision. So it will be helpful for the compression of data. Next is measurement of data and meaningful information. Whatever the data we get, it will measure through various statistical techniques called as measure of central tendency, measure of dispersion. We have mean, median and mode, correlation, regression. So all these are what? Statistical tools and techniques. So from this statistical tools and techniques, we will get to know what is the value of that data, what is the measurement of that data, in which scale we have to measure those data. So all this information we will get with the help of statistics, and it will provide us the meaningful information. And next we have understanding the relationship between variables. So if we wanted to know the relationship between the variables, for example, sales and advertisement. So this year the sales of i20 car has been increased due to the advertisement, or is there any other relationship with the sales? To find out this kind of relationship, we have a technique called correlation in statistics. With the help of statistics, we can understand what is the relationship we have. Suppose we are getting fever constantly. So what is the reason for getting fever constantly? Is because of rainfall that you people have got drenched in that, or whether you are eating ice cream daily. What is the relationship that is there between the fever, ice cream and the rainfall? So all these three relationship will be explained in a statistics. So to explain the relationship between the variables, statistics is the best tool. Predict of economic factors. So this will be helpful for prediction of economic factors, because future is uncertain. To know uncertainty, we have statistics. So based on the trends, you'll be having budget every year. In the month of March or February, we'll be having budget that will be allocated by the central government. So based on what they are giving the expenditure for all the sectors, based on prediction they are giving, based on statistics of previous year, based on statistics of the different years they are comparing, and then they are providing the budget allocation, isn't it? So based on statistics, it helps to assess the future. It helps to know our future in a better way. So it helps in prediction of economic factors. So these are the uses of statistics that we have. And last, we are in the conclusion part. So I'll be recalling all the things that we have discussed. So let us recall. So in this class, we have discussed what is economics is all about. Economics is simply nothing but it deals with the scarcity and its implication in production, consumption and distribution of goods and services. What is an economic activity? And we have discussed about all the three important terminologies in economics, that is what is production, consumption, distribution, and after that we have discussed what is statistics, why statistics is important in economics, and why it is, what are its uses. Everything we have discussed in this previous slides. Understanding of economic policies, we are able to understand how decision will be easier for us with the help of statistics in economics. And we have also discussed what is the pricing, what is the availability that we have for the consumption purpose, who is the consumer guide, what is the future trends. With the help of that statistics, we are able to predict the future. No, though uncertainty cannot, the risk of uncertainty cannot be eradicated completely, but with the help of statistics, we can take up the better decisions so that risk can be minimized. We have solving economic problems. So with the help of how the economic problems can be solved. That's it for today. Thank you so much once again. I hope the session was fruitful, interesting. So stay blessed. Keep smiling. Smile is the biggest jewel you can wear. Keep smiling. Thank you so much.